Hello Pro Styler theme lovers. I thought I would do a quick little video to help you, all of you out there that doesn't know CSS, that doesn't know how to change few things in the Pro Styler themes, so that I can help you a little bit with that. For example, if I show you the site right now, I just need to mention, by the way, that this is the previous version, version 2 of the theme that I upgraded to version 3. So I do have the latest version, but probably the theme that I imported at that time might be a little bit different than the one that you have right now if you import directly from the Evolution theme. So it might not be the exact same colors and so on, but the principle is the same. So for example, Shane McKenna asked a question about changing the look of the menu right there, changing the font, changing the size, things like that. So I'll show you how to do that, but at the same time how to change the look of anything inside your Pro Styler or any other WordPress theme. So first thing I'm gonna, first place to go is always inside the Pro Styler, if you use that theme of course, Pro Styler options. So maybe what you need to do is right there, so make sure you look through all the options to see if it has what you need to do. In this particular example, what we need to do is change the typography that we have right there, but this is for the entire website. We don't have that for a particular item, like for example H1, H2 and so on, or like in this case for the menu items. So we need to go a little bit further, we need to go higher to do that. Inside the header we do have options, but not options again for the text, font and the size and so on. So what I would suggest you use is a plugin called Microthemer. So if I do a little research on Microthemer, sorry, this is where I wanted to go. So I have a couple of windows open. It's already installed in my installation, so I just want to show you where it is. So you have Microthemer Lite. I really encourage you to buy the Pro version, but the Pro version is really not expensive. So you have $45 for 3 sites or $90 for unlimited websites. And this is a one-time fee for lifetime upgrades. So this is really, really cheap. So if you plan on using that, I really encourage you to use the developer license if you want to build a website for other people. But if not, I'm going to use the free version, the light version right now, just to show you what we can do with it. Okay, so it's already installed in my case. So what you need to do, of course, you have Microthemer right there, and you have the preferences. I won't go inside of that. This is just some CSS preferences, the look of the interface and so on. So I'm going to click right away to Microthemer, and what you'll see is your website with some little tools surrounding it. So of course in my case I bought the developer license, so I could unlock it right there. So if you buy it, you will always have the light version installed, and you need to unlock it to have the full version. But anyway, I'm going to show you, like I said, with that version. So the way it looks by default, by the way, I removed the rule. By default you will see a little ruler like that. So what you need to do, as it says here on the top, double click anything on the page to begin restyling it. So let's say for example I want to restyle my my menu right here at the top. So I double click on home group 1 here, and now it gives me a list of all the things that I can style. That is like that. So for example, all the links, but of course when I mouse over it, it will highlight what it will change. So depending on what you send the page, of course, if I had other links down there, I would see them highlighted as well. So this is really not the one that I want to change. I don't know where are the other links here on the page, but you get the ID. Okay, so that would target all the links. So this is way more than what I need to do. At the opposite, in this particular case, sorry, I'm targeting what we call an ID. When you see a number sign like that, this is an ID, and an ID is just one element on the page, just to say it quickly. So that means that this menu item 9.99 is this particular one. So I don't want to style just this one, I want to style all the elements here. So I need to go somewhere else. So sometimes, like in this case, you might need to do a little trial and error. But let's say if I go down, menu item A will probably work as I expect, I guess. So I need to select that one. Just need to make sure, because this one has drop down, but not all of them might have drop downs and so on. So let's go with that. If it's not the case, like I said, well, this one could be okay as well. Let's use this one instead. And you always have a little hi here that tells you what it will style and so on. What we need to do in Microthemer, we always have to give it a name. And this is not, for those who know CSS, this is not a tag, this is not a class or ID or anything. This is just a name for you to recognize it in the folder and the hierarchy and so on. So I'm going to just specify here menu, and I need to enter a new or select a folder that is already there. So there's already a lot of folders here to group things together. So in this case I'm going to use the main menu. I don't really need to create a new one. And by the way, if you're not sure, you also have the inspector right there. So you can move one level up or one level down or go to the next one and so on. Okay. So in this particular case, that would be probably the one that I want to target, because as you can see, when I move to the other one, it shows me the other ones here. And you can see what is the current CSS or style that is applied. So in this case, font size is 17 pixel. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to create a selector. And now, as you can see, it's working. And now I have a lot of things that I can change with that. So the first one is the font, everything that regards the font, the size, the color, and so on, the type. The alignment here, so indentation, alignment, and so on. You can change a list, you can put text shadow, and so on and so on. Color, background color, gradients. So there's a lot of things that you can do here. So let's in this example, for example, and I want to change the font size. So when I mouse over it, you can see that it tells me that it's 17 pixels right now. So if I want to change that to something else, I don't really need to specify the value pixel here, but you can do so, of course, if you want to. And when I tab, it's working, and it will show me whether it changes or not. So in this particular case, it didn't change. So my selector was not the right one. I shouldn't have changed it probably. So I'm going to go back here, main menu, and delete it. And I'm going to start all over again. So double click on group. And I'm gonna go back to the one that I chose previously. So that was probably a better choice. So I'm gonna put menu again, main menu, create selector, and here I'm gonna put 24 pixels and see what it looks like. So it's working. That's why you don't see any change right now. And bam, here we go. So as you can see now, it has changed all the levels. Of course, if you don't want the sub levels, you will need to choose another one. But just to be quick here, if you want to change the font, here you go. You have a bunch of fonts here. But like in the example, you wanted to use a Google font, so you can use here. Just click on Google font, and you can go by popularity, the trending, alphabetical, and so on. Let's go with trendings in this case. If you want to put it bold or something like that, you need to make sure that it's available. So normal here in 700 is bold. You have more bold and so on. So it depends on the font that you choose. So let's say it's trending, so it might not be the same for you. Let's say I use this one, backups 1. So just click use this font. And again, it's working. Bam, here we go. So let's say that I want to keep it that way, maybe it's too big and so on, but of course you can always change that. Maybe change it back to 20 pixels would be enough because that's a big font. And I'm going to play with that a little bit just to add a drop shadow here, a text shadow to be more precise. So let's go here and I put 5 pixels, and 10 pixels, and of course I want it to be black, so I can choose a color here. So you have a color picker. And here we go. You can see that I have a drop shadow here surrounding my little title here. It's just on the first level, by the way, as you can see. So if I would, I could change the color so you can see it better. And here we go. We do have a black shadow, so I'm going to keep it black. And whoops. And let's say that it's pretty good like that. Another thing that we can also do, as you can see here, what I'm targeting right now is for all the devices. That means mobile, tablets, desktop, and so on. But you have little tabs here for all the devices. So let's say, for example, here it's pretty good, but when I go on the phone, it shows me what it will look like on the phone, and if I click on that, you will see that the menu is a little bit big, maybe for a phone. So if I want to change that back to normal, let's say, I can come here. I'm going to change the font back to another one. I don't remember which one it was, but let's go with Arial. And maybe I want to get rid of that drop shadow, so I can go back to shadow here and put everything to 0, so I don't have any drop shadow anymore. And maybe just for fun, just because we can. So sorry, was interrupted by the phone. Okay, so what I'd like to do here, let's say I want to put all of that in capital letter. So we have that here in the text section. Let's say I want to put all of that in uppercase, just for fun, just for playing. Okay, good. And as you can see now, I have a little kind of icon here that tells me that I have something specified for phone, I have something specified for font, text, and drop shadow or black shadow. So, as you can see here, we have a different look for all devices, we have a different look for phone, let's say phone and tablet for a bigger phone, and so on. And as you can see, we have different look. So for example, phone and tablet here, which is a little bit bigger, has the same layout as all devices, while phone, only phone, which is maximum width of 480. This is what we call in CSS media queries. Then it looks like that. Okay. So I think you can even change that, by the way, because that's a phone in landscape mode. If you want to change that to portrait mode, you can resize that a little bit to see how it would look like on the smaller phone. So, well, this is really a small one, but let's say about 320 is the size of an iPhone. So that would look like that on an iPhone. A little bit more, but anyway, here we go. Alright, so we have a good idea, maybe a little bit too big here, it's almost on 2 line. So I can say, well, okay, that's too big, let's put 18 pixels instead, since they're all capital letters. And again, it will be only for phones. It will be the other look for other layouts. So that's a quick look. Of course, you can style everything that you want in the page using Microthemer. So for example, if I wanted to change, I don't know, the email newsletter here, I can double click on that as well. H4 or all the H4 if I want to target all the H4 at the same time. I could say it's an H4 or title. I could put that in, let's say, header. Create a selector for that. And let's say, I don't know what I would want to do, but of course pretty ugly, but I want to play with that. Put it red, put it bold. and put a background color on that, let's say. Of course, that's pretty stupid here. By the way, with Microthemer, you always have, if you don't know what it is for, what the icon is for, you can always click on the icon itself, and you will go directly to the Help Center that will tell you how to use that, what it is for, and so on and so on. So we'll load in a few seconds. So background color, you can specify a value, an hexadecimal value, and you have that for all of those items here. So, for example, click on that, and I'm going to put, I could put a background color, but let's say no, I'll change my mind, and I could use gradient instead. So, left to right, let's say, first color, second color, well, let's go more on green. I know it's going to be really ugly, but just for fun. So I could specify a third color and so on. I could specify rounded borders if I wanted to. Let's say, let's go with dimensions here. We have, by the way, paddings also right there, margin and padding, so the spacing and so on and so on. So I wanted to change the border to have rounded borders. So let's say if I specify something here, let's say a border of, I don't know, well, that's really too big, but let's say that 2 pixels. If I double click on it, it's going to copy that in all the other boxes. So right now the border is red, so I'm going to put it black, let's say. I don't think the color will be copied though, but anyway. Let's say top and right. I'm going to leave it like that for bottom ref. Border width. So let's say. Oh, sorry, I forgot border style. Sorry, I was going too quickly. I want a solid border of 2 pixels. Okay. And let's say I want a border radius of, let's say, I don't know, 10 pixels. To have rounded corners, and here we go. So of course it's pretty much it's really ugly right now, but just to give you an idea of what you can do. And of course, again, I could change that for a phone or for a tablet and so on. If I change that for, let's say, desktop and tablet, let's say that I want to change the color or the border to be, I don't know, just to show you, 5 pixels instead. Okay. So it's 5 pixel now, and it's 5 pixel for, let's scroll down. As you can see, it's 5 pixels for tablet and phones. So when I specify something here, it's for this one and below. So as you can see, it's minimum width of 768 and maximum width of 979. So sometimes it might reflect on these as well, as you can see here. So this one, well, my menu is open, I guess. So anyway, that's to give you a quick idea. Never forget, of course, to save your changes if you want to keep that. In this case, I won't save it. You might guess. But you can save it and then simply use it. It will create a new CSS style sheet, another file, in other words, for you. So you don't have, if you use that tool, to create what we call a child theme. So you might see me often talking about child themes in Pro Styler Facebook forum. But this will add a new CSS file, so you don't need to create a child theme in order to use this one. So, hope that will help. You can leave the comments in Facebook and share it with others so that it can help them with CSS problems. Thank you.